See, remember what needs to be ready. Be ready. The tardy, I don't know when you came in late. Being ready thing. Yeah. I mean, why are people tardy is because when I'm up there, and then you come in later. Yeah, because you sit right up front. But the reason your names are for getting ready is because you weren't ready the other day. That's not the target. Because you were like walking around asking for sharpers and stuff. Good morning. Or good afternoon. You know, 3 writing something's ready. Writing your notebook is the expectation.
Sono gli occhi si non è in quinto per 2 partiti. Stiamo tornando un po'.
Tardies, right?
What?
Tardies. We definitely don't want to interrupt things after a tardy, right? During the work time, I'll look nuts into these things.
All right, cool. We'll start like we start. Oops, breathing. All right, breathing in and out. In proper breathing, there is a good way to breathe. There's a bad way to breathe. One of those bad ways would be talking. That would be the incorrect way to breathe. And you really want to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You're trying to oxygenate your brain so you're a little bit more alert, okay, especially after lunch, which can be a down time. So we want to make sure that we're committing ourselves to learn and doing all the things that we need to do to live up to our big visions as a school.
You also do it in emergency. If they bother you a lot, you waste it.
And 30 seconds to focus. And what you do during these 30 seconds will determine how well you pick up information and how you retain it. Getting your neurons excited. All right, learning with courage and curiosity. I was wanting to kind of. Did you need your stuff? I do want to start changing these to be focused specific on what's going to happen in class. So I forgot to do that. Because one thing, other thing to talk about is you are going to have like individual work time today, where there will be an expectation that you're going to be quiet during that time. So that could be something you're thinking about too, just to kind of keep an idea. But making sure people are participating, making sure you show courage and curiosity by learning. Learning takes both of those things. Okay, so making a commitment to yourself. Do you have water?
Sácalo bien.
What's the problem? I mean, there's some problems you guys not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Whenever you write my comment,
You gotta wait for other people to finish.
that's why
Coco's walking, right?
you are the wire.
The time is always right to do what is right. Ooh, that fits very nicely. You should always know what the right and the wrong thing to do is. If you don't ask, right? You're like, I was thinking about this. Always time to do the right thing. Light changes direction or refracts when traveling between different what type of materials? Who does? Well, think about it now. What type of materials does, when light passes through it, refracts? What type of materials? Okay, that's encouragement. That's it. With a mirror, okay, that's a good guess. Okay, not 100% right. Can somebody pick somebody to help you out?
I think I'm gonna
You're gonna guess too. Awesome.
the brain.
The brain. Great guess because you know that's pieces and parts that we're talking about. So it's not the brain. You pick someone to help out, remember? Next time, someone who's not calling their name out. Go ahead.
I think
Impulse. Again, thinking about what's that? Inputs. This idea about inputs. So again, trying to build some knowledge that we have. So you're also wrong, but good. We're gonna figure this out. Amelia, you pick someone.
me.
Reflecting materials. You're getting closer. We still haven't found it yet. Pick someone to help us out. Transparent materials. Awesome. When multiple light inputs are detected by sense receptors in our eyes, they are turned into signals. The brain responds to the blank signals without thinking. What type of signals? They are electrical, but when we think about what we're talking about, the important word here is this idea of multiple. So there's multiple ones going into the brain. You think about which one it recognizes. Help? Can somebody help you? The strongest. Which one is it? The strongest. So it accepts the strongest one. Why does the student only see his reflection? Fair.
What?
Why does the student only see his reflection? Yeah, fair. Okay, it has something to do with the mirror, for sure. But we want to get a little bit more scientific, a little deeper than that. So pick somebody to help you out. Pick somebody to help you out.
I think it's because the ring is the loudest.
And what's the loudest?
Is.
The mirror. Okay, the mirror. The mirror is the loudest. What is the reason, Fed? The strongest, yeah. Thank you. And which one's the strongest one? Which is from what? Which is your original answer? The mirror is stronger. The mirror is the stronger signal. Awesome.
Yes, that one.
For everybody, again, those of us that miss time, this is being recorded. It is put on Schoology. You are expected to make up what you missed. It goes for everybody. Whenever you miss time, everything's recorded. I missed some classes, but now I've gotten my system down pat. And so anything that you miss, you leave, you take off, you look great. Like, I get it, but you need to do the work. You need to find out what's going on. When more than one input enters our body, do all of the inputs make it to our brain? Korea. Yeah, you do. Why is the eye a system, Rochi? It's parts and they work together. So parts working together. Parts working together. Huh? What's that? Okay, cool. We are going to do difficult things today. Remember, you can do difficult things. Okay? We are going to write today. We are going to be scientists who write so that we can explain. So things to think about. Why is writing difficult? What can we do to make writing less difficult? And what do we need to include when we write explanations about the phenomenon?
Top.
Okie dokie, artichoke. I've done this lesson once. It was a little clunky. I made some change to it to see how it goes. I was a little worried about it from the beginning, so I'm not doing it as the people asked. I've made some decisions based on my experience. So we'll see how it goes. Writing is super hard because it requires so much of your brain to do. Okay, you have to take all of the information that you have in your brain and you know, and you have to put it down on page that makes sense. Okay, you have to think about all the language that you know. You have to have your hand working on a pencil, which is not easy for everybody. For me as a child, handwriting, and that was super difficult. It was really hard. I had straight 4s on everything, except for handwriting. I got a big fat 1 on that, and that kept me away from all of the honor rolls my whole elementary time. Okay, so I don't necessarily like handwriting. Some of us have problems with handwriting. That affects the brain. Okay, so it makes it difficult. Okay, it makes it difficult. All of this information that we have to get down. We have to go by a structure. We have to remember some words that we have to put in order. Where does the capital letter go? Where does the period go? Do I put a comma in here? There's a ton of stuff to think about as we write. Rochi, what's up? I mean, a lot would be better because we're always thinking. Right? All right. What helps us? Graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are an incredible help to anyone who's writing, specifically people who have this wonderful ability of 2 languages. If I had to write in Spanish, which is my weaker language, I would need a lot more help than in writing in English, just because I'm stronger in English than I am in Spanish. So for those of you who are strong in both, wow, that's a great resource to have. Again, if we're stronger in one than the other, that's okay too. It all depends where you are. That's why we have graphic organizers. I have developed a graphic organizer off of a book I used called The Writing Revolution. And if you were in 5D last year, you've seen the types of this graphic organizer. So you'll be a little bit more familiar than our friends who weren't in 5D last year. But what material are we going to use in our explanations of the phenomenon? We're going to use all the ideas that we have. We're going to use any of the models that we have. We're going to use the notebook. Okay? We're going to use all of these resources to support us when we're thinking and writing. So, real quick, talk to your partner. What are some things that we've learned since the beginning of this unit when we first watched that video about the teacher being able to see the student and the student only seeing the reflection? Turn and talk. What have you learned? All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, this is the list that I came up with. Light traveling, how we see, reflection transmission, how a one-way mirror is built, how the eye transmits information to the brain, and how our brain interprets multiple inputs. Anything to add here that I missed? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so this is going to be the information you need to have access to when we write our explanation about what's happening. I would put that into the how it's built, but yes, I could be more specific about what it is. Okay. Yeah, no problem. What are some demonstrations or some activities that we've done within this unit? Talk to your partner. What are some activities, demonstrations we've done during this unit? Sorry, I didn't talk to you last week. Very, very so, rough recess. What's one thing we've done to demonstrate during this? Perfect. That's the best one. All right, 3. Okay. So you need to go to the nurse then. Do you have your pass from before? You feel bad too. All right. Good Lord.
And you like the other.
And both of you?
No, just put the timer. Change the
For you? Yeah.
Can I search for something while like you're not teaching because it takes to the front?
Where is this? Like,
You have to go to the office first.
no, but yeah, like in a school.
In our class. This is unit 1. Alright. This is the list I came up with. This idea about the Fox model. The really important one Coco mentioned when you were the one class that actually got to measure the transmission and reflection of light. Okay, that's going to be an important piece of evidence that we're going to use. Okay. And so what's next? Right now, we as a class, I'm going to walk you through how to use the graphic organizer I have created, and so that you understand what are the expectations for you around writing a scientific explanation about a phenomenon. Okay? So we've gone through the beginning. We're going to do the class right. We should be able to take a 5-minute break. It is a shorter day, so sometimes this doesn't work out. And then we'll have some individual work time so that you can work on your own. You are going to be successful today if, number 1, you understand the different parts of an explanation, which you should already know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You're going to be successful if you fill out the graphic organizer, and you're going to be successful if you write 2 paragraphs. So if you can do all 3 of those things, that's a great day. That's a great day. Paul Martin, you have a question? Well, why do you keep leaning back and touching his desk? You don't know? Do you need to move yourself, maybe away from him? Do you think that would help? This is not encouraging and support what you're doing. Do you need to move, or do you think you can do it there? Okay, you're just going to stop. Awesome. All right, cool. So, in an explanation, we need to include 3 things. We need to include our claim about what we think is happening. We have to include the reasons that support our claim. And we have to include the evidence that support everything. So that's CRE again. Claim, reasoning, and evidence. So how are we going to do that? So the one we're going to model together, CRE. The one we're going to CER. The one we're going to model together is why does the teacher see the student? The one you're going to do on your own is why does the student see himself? Okay, so I'm going to model why does the teacher see the student. I'm going to go through how to use this graphic organizer, and then I'm going to give you a copy of exactly what I did so that you can use this as well when you're writing. Okay, because there's going to be very similar information. Okay, so let me first go over what each part looks like. We have the list of things we've learned, the demonstrations. The very first thing you do in one sentence, your topic sentence, is going to be your claim. Okay? Why is what is happening happening? What do you think is the why? Okay? So this is happening because, and then you name it. Below that, you're going to list out your reasons. When we list out reasons using a graphic organizer, we do not have to write complete sentences. You just write like a note down, or a thought, or an abbreviation. This helps us because it keeps it there for when we write later, we have it there. We don't have to think about it. We just see it. Okay, so then we can write about it. You're then going to have an area to write your paragraph that includes your claim and your reasons. Then, on the back side, this is now the time to have evidence. So again, these do not need to be complete sentences. These can just be notes or like little abbreviations. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And then finally, you write a paragraph explaining your evidence. So you have 2 paragraphs to write. One that has, man, you guys all right over there? Is everybody did you all eat the same thing? What's that? Huh? You're sleepy. How much sleep did you get last night? You don't know. That's not good. 7 hours. Good Lord, you can't operate on 7. I can barely operate on 7. I'm a grown man. Children need at least 9. Brutal. 7. It's brutal. Brutal. I mean, if I ran the world, you would go to a room and you would sleep. And then later you would do the class. But I don't rule the world. So, the second time, that's why you got to actually get the amount of sleep you need, because I don't rule the world. If I did, like, it would be great. I mean, it wouldn't be great because it would be too much responsibility and power. And I'm afraid of what I would do if I ran the world. I could do whatever I want. You know, that's tricky. When you have absolute power, that's tricky, man. Anyone who's ever been in absolute power has not done well. Right? They've all made pretty big mistakes.
I do whatever I want.
That's going to show up on the video. Your parents are going to watch this and go, oh, really? He does whatever he wants. Be careful. So your second paragraph. So 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph with our claim and reasons, and then the second paragraph with evidence. So what might that look like? So again, this is explaining why the teacher sees the student. So we have an explanation for why you're so tired of Maluki, but right now we can't use an excuse. You gotta sit up. If you want to stand up, stand up. If you want to do jumping jacks in the back, go. But don't put your heads down like that. It's a bad thing. All right, so my claim is this. The teacher sees the music student because, like, if you want to take advantage of it and turn it into a bad thing, you can do that, and then I can tell you to sit down. So if you're back there laughing, what do you think that is? Huh? So you just got to make decisions. Like, you can do stuff to help you out, but then you turn it into this, and no. So no, you're not sitting back there. Teacher sees the music student because light from the light source in room A reflects off the music student and travels through the one-way mirror. We have a model. I'm just writing what I see in the model. Light from room A reflects off the student, passes through, okay, and travels to the one-way mirror. That's my claim. That's why the teacher can see. Okay, now I need reasons. Well, reason number 1, half of the light on the one-way mirror transmits. Okay, did I write a complete sentence? No, I just said half of the light transmits. Remember, you're going to be writing about why the student sees himself. Okay, so maybe think about reasons as we're doing this. My second reason is the light goes to the teacher's eyes. What's up? In a little bit, yeah. The light goes to the eyes. Number 3. I mean, again, guys, what happens, as long as you guys are sick and actually like need stuff and you go to the nurse, everything's fine. What happens when people start going when they don't need to go? Does anyone know? Huh? No, then the school stops it. Like there's a whole thing and an investigation and everything. You waste everybody's time. So will I believe you and can you go? Yes. But please make sure now that I've set 7 people down there, they might be like, what's going on? So just make sure you're using it appropriately. Yeah. The TCT, like the, what's that? The bone breaker?
I don't know.
I don't know. Dengue, yeah, I got dengue my first year here. All right, reason number 3 is the eyes go through the light. So once the light gets into our eyes, it turns it into a signal. That signal goes to our brain. and the brain processes what we see. So these are my reasons. So now that I have my claim and I have my reasons, now I have to write my paragraph. But now I don't have to think as much because all of my information is there. Okay, so my paragraph is this. The teacher sees the music student because light from the light source in room A reflects off the music student and travels to the one-way mirror. That's exactly the same sentence I wrote before. And now I'm going to include all of the reasons in the next sentences. About half the light transmits through the one-way mirror to room B. That was my first reason. About half the light transmits. My next sentence says, where are we? Ooh, sorry. It should say that light. That light enters the teacher's eyes. Light, eyes. The teacher's eyes turns the light input into a signal that goes through the nerves to their brain. Eyes, light, signal, brain. The brain processes the signal and registers that they see the music student. Brain processes, sees. So again, I'm using these notes as I write to help me think. This is why we use graphic organizers, to make our life a little easier. On the back, for my evidence, well, what have we learned about? We've learned about lux. We learned that it transmits light when we did that, right? I have to be thinking, the light is transmitting. How can I prove that? Well, we did a demonstration where we had light meters, and we know how much light transmits through the one-way mirror. What else do we know? We learned that the one-way mirror is half silvered, that the way it's designed, half of it comes through and half of it is reflected. We know that. We can use that. This is evidence. From there, we learned how we see. We learned that the retina creates a signal that sends to the optic nerve and then to the brain. And then we also learned that the brain can see objects when the signal is strong enough. Okay, so that's all of my evidence. That's what I know. And so now I have to write my paragraph about my evidence. Our evidence is from the lesson 3 lab when we measured how much light transmits through the one-way mirror. That was this one. We also found out in lesson 4 that the one-way mirror is half silvered. Half silvered. Where are we? This causes about half of the light that shines on it to transmit through the transparent parts, while the other half reflects off the silvered parts. In lesson 6, we got information about how we see things. When light from an object shines on the retina turns it into a signal. The signal goes along to optic nerve, to the brain. The brain registers the signal as seeing the object. It does this better when the signal is strong. I don't know how that helped anything, because even as I was reading, I was getting a second input from that, bothering my brain. It might not have bothered anybody else because my signal was stronger. But I was talking about before how I pick up on stuff. I'm going to send Coco to the nurse soon. Okay? So we have, this is the way that we're going to fill it out. I'm going to give you exactly what I wrote about the teacher seeing the student. Because what you are writing about is why does the student see themselves? So it's going to be similar to this, but a little different. Why? Because this is all about transmission. What is the student about? Reflection. Okay, so keep that in mind as you work. I'm going to, let's see, what time do we get out of here? 1:05. Hold on a second. Just let me do math. So that means anything at 1, which means, yeah, we could take 5 minutes. We're going to do 5 minutes. We're going to go outside. I'll send you to the nurse then. Then we'll come back in and have about 15 minutes to do the work, which I think should be enough time to at least get through the first paragraph.
So now we are going to open.
We're going to go on the break now. So 5 minutes starting now. Doggy shorts. Hi. You're welcome. Because you're gonna miss on the stuff that we're doing. You sure you want to do that?